So what I'm going to demonstrate for you is the new updated email composer. As you know, you have already been able to, on the Blazie apps side, go into Thunderbird menu and choose compose, and there is a flow that would let you construct your message, and then it would take you to the desktop and it would assemble it, but you'd have to send it yourself. So two things. First of all, that's now automated. So once you submit the message, the email that you've composed, it goes to the desktop and it does its best efforts to send the message automatically for you. You don't need to do anything. In fact, I recommend you don't touch the keyboard while it's doing that. And it will then come back with two situations. One saying your message has been sent and bring you back to Blazie, or it will say message could not be sent. And if you hear that message, you know that we've left you in the desktop, and from there you can investigate what's going on in Thunderbird and send the message or take some sort of measures. Now, before you get too excited, if you've never used this feature, there is still the one-off requirement that you need to go into the desktop and create an email account in Thunderbird so that it is able to send the message for you. It's not magic. No computer in the world can automatically help you send emails until you've set up an email account. And that's what we have to do on Thunderbird once off, and then you never really have to think about it again, just for the sending side. And if there are any questions, I can answer them at the end of the session today about this this feature, because there's a few things. So the second feature thing that I wanted to explain is, you will know that historically with the BT Speak, it's been basically choosing choices from menus, typing inputs and having output, but basically a little bit constrained in the ways that you move through apps. It's all been menus and submenus, and was a bit frustrating, particularly if you're in a hurry. So what I'm very excited about is that we've now developed the first version of our tabbable interface, which is more like what you'd expect in Windows or most other devices, where you can step through steps in a process like constructing an email, and you can also step back to check on them like you would. So this will make sense in a moment, but I just wanted to emphasize that this is a new approach that the more comprehensive apps are starting to use, where you're effectively in a form, a bit like you'd be in a form in an email app, where it asks you for the person you're sending to, the CC, the subject, and sometimes you want to go back to double check those things. You can do that now. All right, so to the demo. So I'm in, where am I?
Viewing welcome screen.md
I'm just
file
in the
1.
welcome screen, so that's very exciting. So let me go through, first of all, how to get to the composer, but I'll give you a hint on the way of how you can make this much more readily available to you if you haven't already. So I'm going to hit O chord,
Options menu.
and then we're going to do A for applications,
Applications menu.
and then we're going to do W for web,
Web applications menu.
T for the Thunderbird menu,
Thunderbird menu.
and now I'm going to go down this menu and explain these choices, and then I'll show you the shortcut.
Open Thunderbird. O.
So you can open Thunderbird in the desktop, that's not changed.
Compose email. C.
You can compose an email, that's there's a new version of that, so that works differently and better now.
Compose email from file. F.
Or you can compose email from a file.
Compose email.
This
C.
also should work from the file browser. You can basically send an email from the file browser and you'll be taken into this interface. So
Compose email. C.
before I go into compose email, what I want to do is I want to make this something that's in my user menu so I can get to it quickly. And it's very easy. I'm on the menu choice that I'm interested in, compose email. I'm going to enter Control C, and that's C with .78.
Item copied to user menu.
And it says item copied to user menu. So in future, I just do O chord, U, and probably C, if it's the only thing in the user menu starting with C, and it will take me into the composer. So that's very useful. So I'll press enter now to go into the composer and take you through it.
Send to.
So the first prompt is send to. So we need to either type in an email address Or what's happened in the last few releases is we've updated the input prompt so that it remembers the last 50, up to the last 50 entries you've typed for this particular field. So if I do .1 chord, which is to go up,
tim@timnoonan.com.o.
it gives me the last email address that I sent to, which is my email address, and that's great. So I'm going to press enter to select that email address.
CC.
Then it's got CC. Now I'm going to press space with dots 1, 2, which is shift tab, and you may hear it called back tab, but we'll get that more consistent going forward.
Send to tim@timnoonan.com.o.
I've moved back to the field that I was in by doing space with dot 1, 2, back tab or shift tab. If I hit tab dot space with dot 4, 5,
CC.
I'm back to CC. So in the old composer, once you'd entered something, you were trapped into the next step and you couldn't revise. So that's how the tab interface basically works now. It lets you move between different elements in the field. And you'll see that more in newer programs as time goes on. So in many cases, you can press .4 chord like you normally would to, enter like you normally would to go to the next field. But we do encourage you in these interfaces, these newer approaches, to get into the habit of using tab if it's a tab-based app. And the reason is that sometimes enter performs an action, but if not, it will move you to the next field. So I'm on
CC.
CC for carbon copy. If I press enter,
BCC.
you hear BCC, which is blind carbon copy. So I'm just going to hit back tab.
CC.
So we're back on CC. So in that instance, that was safe, but I'm going to use tab. So if I hit tab, space with dots 4, 5,
BCC.
we're on BCC. I'll hit tab again.
Subject.
Subject. Now I'm just going to check that I'm in literary braille by doing dots 5, 6 chord.
Literary braille input.
And I'm just going to type in this is a very
very
exciting
JCXE
pardon
space
Pardon
very
my terrible brailing. EXCITING.
exciting.
Message. And I'm going to press tab.
Enter the email body and press tab to continue. Literary braille.
Okay, now we are now in the multi-line editor specially designed for these types of situations. And there's a few things that are different. We use tab or back tab to move up out of the editor. Back tab or shift tab takes you up to where you were, or if you're in the editor and you press tab, it takes you down to the attachment field. But until we do those keys, we are in the editor. If I do WH chord.
At line 1, enter the email body and press tab to continue.
Okay, so
end of file. Top of file.
there's nothing in here. And the body I'm going to type is but it is very boring content. Press enter and you type line 2 new
paragraph,
and I'm just going to go up arrow with dot 1 chord.
blank, line 2, but it is very boring. Top of file.
I'm going to hit end of file.
New paragraph.
So what you can see is this is the editor. You know you can cut and paste. You can do everything in the editor except enter the tab key. So that's sort of the main thing. And also,
top of file.
We're entering in grade 0. When we leave this editor, this multi-line editor field, it will automatically convert what you've brailled in, if you're in literary, back to grade 0, because obviously we can't send a braille file in an email, or it would make no sense to the recipient. You can also change the grade while you're in here with dots 2, 3 chord, the input grade, and dots 5, 6 chord. But that does mean that next and previous block or paragraph isn't available. But for small quantities of text, that should be manageable. We had to make some adaptations and trade-offs to make this as purpose built as possible to give a good flow. So anyway, we've got that content. I'm going to, and if you change the grade, it will back translate and forward translate. We don't encourage, well, we discourage you switching grades willy-nilly, haphazardly, because it can introduce transcription errors if you're not using UEB. One of the reasons UEB was invented was to try and avoid this problem. So anyway, I've entered in grade 2. I'm going to hit tab.
Attachment. No file selected. Press enter to edit or tab to skip.
If I think, oh my goodness, I forgot to say thank you or yeah, whatever, I can go back in. I will be in computer braille because it's translated it. Could change it, but anyway, at least you can review the message before it's sent. I'll hit tab again.
Press enter to continue. Back tab to review or Z chord to cancel.
This is to send. So if you hit enter when you're in the attachment area, which is why I said you should get into the habit of using tab here. If you hit enter in the attachment area, I'll just go back so you can hear that.
Attachment. No file selected. Press enter to edit or tab to skip. Press enter to continue.
So it's quite
Back
a useful,
tab to review or Z chord to cancel.
It's quite a useful message of what you do. When you press enter, you will be in a file browser very similar to the way it works in the OCHord F file browser. You'll have subdirectories and so on. It's not the flat file structure that was there before. So that should be a bit familiar and a bit quicker to navigate to find the file that you'd like to attach. When you're on that file, you just press enter and it's attached to the email. Only one attachment at this stage per message from this approach. If you have a need for more, let us know and we'll look at potentially adding that in an update.
Send to tim@timnoonan.com.
All right, so I've gone too far.
Press enter to continue. Back tab to review or Z chord to cancel.
Sorry, at the end of the form. It's and I'm going to press enter. And what it will do is, as I said, it will open the desktop, which I've already got open. It'll bring up Thunderbird. We'll put the message together and it will hopefully send it automatically for us. So let's see how we go. You will hear speech from the desktop when it's doing its work. We haven't muffled that so that you know what's going on.
Launching Thunderbird in desktop to send message. Escape.
My volume's softer in desktop. Sorry about that.
Left and return. Right colon. This is a very exciting message dash Thunderbird frame. Message body. But it is very boring sending message dash this is a very exciting message. Frame. Cancel. Push button. To activate press space. Desktop. Icon view. Email sent. Compose email. C.
I was holding my breath because I wanted to hear the email sent. I didn't want to hear error sending your email, which is the other situation. So you heard it say email sent, and then it took us back to the Thunderbird menu, and we're on the compose option, so we could send another message. Now, I'm not going to go in and prove to you that the message has arrived, but all of my testing shows that it will arrive in due course. I do apologize that was a very dense presentation. There's a lot new, and we're laying the groundwork for a lot of really great things in the future with apps, and we're in that adding new functionality and a little bit of complexity for a great deal more power.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this.